Hey, good morning, everybody. Gary Glass here. Just like to welcome you to our little bit of reading today. So, welcome to friends, welcome to family. Shoot, welcome to my social media neighbors. Hope everything's going well. Hoping you're having a fabulous day. We jumped in and we've just started reading Napoleon Hill's The 12 Miracles of Life. And it's just such a great book. It's been so much fun to dive into and to take a look at. And the first thing we did was we read a little essay that Napoleon Hill wrote about life that was so good, talking about some of the challenges in life and how if you choose to, you can have a different attitude towards those challenges and how that you can even laugh them off. And it was just such a great little essay, such a great article. Then we read the preface and a foreword, and both were so educational, and the information in it about Napoleon Hill's life and about how this book came about and where it came about from was just so good. So today we're going to start in with actually the very first chapter. And of course, it's the 12 miracles of life. And today we're going to start reading the first miracle of life. And that chapter is titled The Inexorable Power of Faith. Faith. And we're not necessarily talking about a religious type of faith, but the faith that you have in yourself, that you have this down into the marrow of your bones, knowing that you can do something. So let's dive in. It's such a great chapter. Faith, the greatest of all known powers available to man, is a state of mind, a positive state of mind directed to definite ends. An expectant father was pacing up and down the hall in front of the operating room at the hospital, waiting to hear whether it was a boy or a girl. The door opened. Two nurses came out and passed by the waiting father without looking in his direction. Then the doctor came to the door, hesitated a moment, and motioned to the waiting father to come in. "Before you go in," the doctor began, "I must prepare you for a shock. It's a boy, and he was born without ears. He hasn't the slightest sign of ears, and of course, he will be deaf and dumb all of his life." The father exclaimed, "He may have been born without ears, but he will not go through life deaf and dumb." Just such an attitude right there, huh? "Now, don't become excited," said the doctor, "but you may as well prepare yourself to accept the conditions as they are, not as you wish them to be. Medical science has known of other cases like that of your son, but not one of the children born in his condition ever learned to speak or to hear." Oh my gosh, can you imagine? Can you imagine this condition? I'm certain perhaps some of you have something like this or something similar where there an illness or I'll call it an abnormality at birth of a child. It just breaks your heart. And look at this father and the attitude that he had. Well, my son may not have ears. However, he will learn to hear and to speak. And then, you have to prepare yourself to accept the conditions as they are. Do you? Not as you wish them to be. Really? Do you? Or can you make a plan and get into action and do something about it? No matter what the goal might be, whether it's being able to hear and to speak or whatever. What do you want? And then are you willing to pay the price to go make that happen? So the story continues. "Doctor, I have a great respect for your skill as a physician, but I am also a doctor in a certain sense, for I have discovered a powerful remedy sufficient for human needs in practically every circumstance. The first step one must take in applying this remedy is to refuse to accept as inevitable any circumstance one does not desire. And I am notifying you here and now that I shall never accept my son's affliction as something which cannot be corrected." Now there's a state of mind. There's a state of mind of can do, of, I would say that the doctor's state of mind was that of impossible, whereas this father is saying, we're going to fix this. I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know what my plan is right now. And I know where we are now, and I know where I want to go. I've got a goal, and that goal is to have my son to be able to hear and to speak. The story continues. The doctor made no reply, but the look of astonishment on his face clearly said, "You poor fellow. I feel sorry for you, but you'll find out that there are some circumstances of life which one is forced to accept." He took the father by the arm and walked into the room where the mother and the child awaited him, pulled back the cover, and stood silently while the father looked at what the doctor sincerely believed to be one of those circumstances of life which one is forced to accept. All that last phrase, all in quotes. Circumstances of life which one is forced to accept. Are you accepting some sort of circumstance in your life right now? Something to think about. Are you doing something about it? Are you ready to? Time moved onward rapidly. 25 years later, another doctor smilingly emerged from his laboratory with some x-rays in his hands. "Miraculous," he exclaimed. "I have x-rayed this young man's head from every possible angle, and I see no evidence that he possesses any form of hearing equipment. Yet my tests show that he has 65% of his normal hearing capacity." The doctor was Irving Voorhees, a well-known ear specialist in New York City, and the x-rays he held in his hands were made from the head of the young man who doubtlessly would have gone through life deaf and dumb had it not been for the intervention of a father who refused to accept that condition and did something to cause nature to correct it. Amazing, huh? I can vouch for the correctness of these statements because I am the father who refused to accept as incurable even so great an affliction as that of being born without ears. For almost 9 years, I devoted a major portion of my time to the application of a power which finally restored to my son 65% of his normal hearing. It was sufficient to enable him to go through the graded school, high school, and college with grades that enabled the best, or with grades that equaled the best of students. And it was sufficient to enable him to adjust himself to life as to so live normally and without inconveniences or embarrassment such as most deaf and dumb persons suffer. How was this quote unquote miracle performed? Who or what did the performing, and what took place inside of the head of the child born without ears, which enabled him to develop sufficient hearing capacity to carry him through life satisfactorily? These same questions were put to Dr. Irving Voorhees. Here is his reply, quote, "Without doubt, the psychological directives the father gave through the child's subconscious mind influenced nature to improvise some sort of a nerve system which connected the brain with the inner walls of the skull, thus enabling him to hear by what is now known as bone conduction." And I think you might recognize it. And maybe you've seen it before. There'll be someone with something attached to their head and that goes towards their toward their ear, and have that is a bone conduction amplifier. It's just today it's considered a simple procedure. Back then, and we're talking, and I think the early 40s, maybe even the late 30s, where this story is being talked about, they didn't have that kind of equipment. They just didn't understand it. They didn't know it, didn't know how to do it. And here was a case where through pure perseverance, knowing what they wanted and pure perseverance, did something. And the young man ends up having 65% of his normal hearing. So the story continues. It is hoped that by the time you have finished reading this volume, this book here, the exact nature of the miracle which saved a child from going through life as a deaf and dumb person will be revealed. The author has been aided by this miracle ever since he first became conscious of it, when he was quite a young man. It has helped him to master fear, superstition, ignorance, and poverty, the four enemies of mankind, to which so many people yield without a fight because they do not understand how to apply the miracle in refusing to accept from life that which they do not want. How powerful is that? There's a, it's not even, was about to say there's a secret, that this miracle is a secret, and it really isn't. The information is out there. The information is in this book and other books like it. Here, we'll continue with the story. The exact nature of the miracle is something one person cannot describe to another until that person has been mentally conditioned to receive it. So you have to have the right attitude. For this reason, it may be necessary for the reader to read and analyze all the subsequent chapters of this book before being conditioned to receive the full meaning of the miracle. Some very definite clues have been described in this chapter, but they may not be sufficient to reveal the supreme secret by which one may successfully reject from life that which one does not desire. This secret is worth searching because it is the master key that will unlock the doors to multiple blessings for all who possess it, including the mastery of dread of dental and medical surgery. The mental attitude in which you read this book will determine to a large extent the time and the place in the book where the secret may be revealed to you so that you can take advantage of this sort of miracle. Therefore, let us turn our attention to some of the profound potentials of a positive mental attitude. All righty. That's probably a third of the first chapter. I don't want to go too far because I want to keep these little reading segments in bite sizes. You know what? I'll put a link to Amazon so that you can quickly and easily click on it to be able to buy this book. It's a fabulous book. If you get a chance, you want to buy it, you want to read it. I don't remember if it's in Audible or not yet, and it's just, there's so many powerful lessons in it that will truly help you be able to advance the 12 miracles of life in your life. So with that, I want to bid you adieu. I want to say God bless you, God bless me, God bless us everyone. Have a great day, have a great week. See your goal, be your goal, feel your goal complete, and go do it. All right, everybody. Talk to you later. God bless. Bye-bye.